And hello and welcome to the Seeking Heaven channel. I'm your host, Tamara Calder Richardson. We have an exciting topic today and also an exciting panel. So before we get to that, I wanted to mention a couple announcements. We're going to jump into it, give you an opportunity to find out more about our topic today, but we will be discussing Awaken to Your Hidden Atlantean Superpowers. So first, just as a reminder, this is brought to you by the Academy of Divine Wisdom. So make sure you check that out, sign up for the newsletter, and you get a free Christ-like meditation, as well as I'm offering a channeling course that starts July 8th, and of course is unlimited demand on that. And if you want a reading, you can always find me at at the southernbellmedium.com for booking a reading. So let's go ahead and jam out on today. It's going to be fun, okay? So let me go ahead and bring on our guest. We have today with us, I'm very excited, Portal to Ascension. If you haven't checked them out, they are the leader in, I call them Ascension ambassadors because they are, as far as events online and in person, as well as their YouTube channel. They are on the forefront of all things with Ascension and spirituality. So I'm going to bring on the director and the executive director. I'm going to bring on the director, Neil Gaur, who's the founder and director of Portal to Ascension. Hello, Neil.
Hey, Tamara. Thank you so much for having me here. Excited for what we're going to do this weekend.
Absolutely. I'm excited about that. And let me bring on your partner here. Let me bring on Joan of Angels. And she is the executive producer for the Portal to Ascension. And then we also have, let's see, who else do we have? I don't know if we have, Alan is here or not. I can add to the stream. Let's see if Alan is here, who is also does a lot of MC events.
Oh, hey.
So are you ready?
Hi. Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So okay. Alan Steinfeld, he is involved with Portal to Ascension, and he also MCs a lot of the events.
Yes.
As well as he is the author of the book, which is Making Content Preparing for New Realities of an Extraterrestrial Existence, which sounds like our guidebook these days with everything going on. So check that out. So today we're going to be talking about Awaken to Your Hidden Atlantean Superpowers and why that's so important. And then I'm just going to go ahead and jump ahead. We're going to invite you, if this is interesting to you, and hopefully it is, we're going to invite you to a conference this weekend where you can be a part of Unleash the Secrets of Atlanta. Only $55 for 2 days. I mean, with just amazing experts in this area. And this will act as an activation for people that are there. Because after all, Atlantis was around a very long time, hundreds of thousands of years, and chances are we were all there at one point. So I'm going to turn it back over to, let me get it back in here, to the Portal of Ascension team. And I'm going to have Neil tell us a little bit about Portal to Ascension, your YouTube events, and also about this, the Unleash Atlantis this weekend, the 2-day event. What's going on with that?
Mm-hmm. So a bit about a Portal to Ascension first. Hello, everybody. Sometimes it's a challenge to really say what we're about, because I feel there's so many aspects. If there's going to be a bottom line, I like a few terms. I like the word remembrance, helping people remember. But ultimately, it's about what's going on in this reality right now, and that's why we exist. And what's going on is that there is an upturning consciousness. We're ending one yuga cycle, one age, one cycle into another one. And what happens during these turns into cycles into other ages is organizations, people, avatars, they get incarnated onto the planet to be able to assist with this, right? And if you're tuning into this right now, you probably already know this. And Portal to Ascension is the personification of one of those, is that we are an organization of nonstop consciousness, awareness, education, remembering, unlearning to relearn kind of thing, where we hit on literally thousands of topics, worked with thousands of speakers on a range of information that all leads to the same ultimate goal, which is empowering humanity to realize what is going on the planet, who we are, where we come from. And I'm not talking metaphorically, I'm talking literally who we are. Where do we come from? What planets do we come from? Why is our soul here on the earth? Why does Earth exist anyway? And understanding these in a way that we can utilize the powers and the insight that we gain from this to create a world that can work for everyone, right? So we can all be empowered, that we can live in harmony, that we don't have to have poverty, people don't need to starve, and that we can move from suffering, knowing that the suffering was okay because it was what was needed for us to even remember in the first place, right? And then moving into this whole new octave of existence, as I like to call it, a new vibration. So that's kind of like, a summary of what we're doing. And what we've had the opportunity to do is go deep into different topics to kind of get to that ultimate goal. And so what's happening this weekend, July 1st and 2nd, for any of you who want to sign up for that, you can also sign up and watch the replay, get unlimited replay access, is us doing a deep dive on the topic of Atlantis. So many people have spoke about it. Plato wrote about it. But a lot of ancient civilizations also spoke about a great civilization that existed. They just didn't call it Atlantis. So there was a great civilization that seemed to span the whole planet. There was a worldwide pyramid culture going on, and there was a level of advancement that may have actually been in alignment with technology, but advancement in technology doesn't have to coexist with the advancement in consciousness. You can have an advanced consciousness where you do not use the technology and you have computers and things like that. So what we're going to do this weekend is we're paying reverence to this ancient civilization and coming at it from all types of angles, from the archaeological evidence to my whole component, what I'm sharing. And what I love to do is I love to convince, for lack of a better term, the linear-minded non-believers that this is real by giving them the scientific evidence to suggest that, hey, something happened, right? So I'm coming from that angle to really give you the tools to be able to go to your mom and dad and be like, look at all this information here. Tell me that I'm wrong.
I'd like to try that. I already think I'm on a spacecraft somewhere. Thanks, Neil. I don't know about that.
And then we have a lot of individuals bringing forth their memories of Atlantis and then tapping into what the topic of this panel is, which is awakening your superpowers, because we are at a level of consciousness where we had abilities that a lot of us in the community can speculate upon and say that we had, but even those in the community can't even begin to imagine some of the powers that we had. And the ultimate goal for humanity is to regain that. So we're going to be having a great time going into all of this and really, going deep into all this information and sharing it with so many different perspectives.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited, and I am very grateful that I'm going to be a speaker on Saturday, and so I believe it's 2:30 Eastern time. So make sure you check that out for people that know me. But there's tremendous speakers there. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see it. So I want to ask my sister Joan of Angels about the superpowers. What do the superpowers of ancient Atlantis means, and how can witnessing other people speak about it activate them? How do you feel about that?
Muted, Joan.
Oh wait, you're unmute, sweetie. Here you go. I want to hear. I don't want to miss a word.
I don't want to miss a word.
Perfect.
Because it comes from above. So Neil, I want to say something to you. I was laughing because you're so pragmatic and people are going to come away with such a concrete evidence of Atlantis. And I'm going, okay, I'm going to help them channel and raise their frequency so that they can connect the earth to the heavens and have that direct experience of being a divine priestess or a divine goddess who is able to activate this connection to spirit, which we know is the best way to live our life. It guides us in everything we do. So learning how to instantly walk, we're in these 3D bodies, but walk in a fifth dimensional frequency in these bodies is what we've learned from being in Atlantis. Because in Atlantis, in these temples, we literally walked with the gods. We walked with the angels. We were one with them. And we would ask them all the time. And that was because our vibratory frequency was so high, Tamara, when we chanted those sacred tones. And we're going to be reactivating that. So to me, the superpowers are what we were born with. Not this life, but the lifetimes when we came in. The toolkit that we needed to ascend. And this is a lifetime we're being called to wake them up. I mean, this is the lifetime for ascension. So all the factors are working together. That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the presence of you being there, you don't know what's going to happen. It can activate you on one or multiple levels, because not only our presence, but just also what someone says. You never know. And it happens to me when I'm watching my, Star Family Talk. They'll say something. It could be one little thing, and I'm like, bam, full memory back. So that is our birthright, to be able to know our lineage, which is not just here. So, Alan, I want to hear your take on what was it about the good times Atlantis that we can learn from, and that we can propel into this reality right now and move it forward. What is it that we had that we bring back now?
Well, you know what? You can hear me okay, right?
Oh yeah, you sound great.
Okay, great. Well, you know what they say, as above, so below. And Atlantis was a civilization of expansion and expanded the human potential. Our third eye was open. You know, the story of the Tower of Babel was that we stopped being telepathic with each other. We had to learn these languages that separated us. So because we needed that evolution of the emotional body and falling into this collapse, it closed the third eye. The sinking of Atlantis or the quaking of Atlantis was the shutting down of the pituitary gland to only for your eyes will only see what's visible. And we lacked the continent sank, the oceans came down, and we closed down as human beings that potential. It's and that happened because we're in touch with the environment. When the environment shuts, the human body shuts, the potential's there. So we had to start from scratch. We had to grow ourselves up. So this time where we were telepathic, we could read each other's thoughts, we could see energies. That shut down, but it was never forgotten. You know, this has been called the third eye in every religion and culture around the country. It's the pituitary gland. So it was active then in the time of Atlantis. And it's like the first awakening, and then it shuts. So it's like a flower. You know, it's like a lotus flower. They call it a 1,000-petal lotus flower. So there was a time when it was open, and then it shut in order to gain more wisdom from the human experience, so we could feel each other more. So when now, as the third eye is opening again, we can look into people's energy body and feel them more, feel what they're experiencing. And then we get the full flavor of what it is to be human here. We didn't have that potential before in Atlantis. We were shut off a little emotionally. We could still see energies, but when we come back around, when the pituitary gland, which is the third eye, or the heaven eye, as they call in Taoist medicine, starts to open, it's starting to open for a lot of us. It's called, fifth dimensional awareness, whatever you want to call it. We will have the capacity for compassion that we were lacking in the times of Atlantis. So because of the human suffering, because, as Bashar says, it doesn't get any lower or denser than 20th century 3D reality, where millions and millions of people were just killed because they weren't the right religion or owned the right land. Or I mean, it's the atrocities of humanity that we haven't had any compassion for. That as we come back around to the vibrational increase that's happening at this time, where the Schumann resonance, its frequency is rising, and the human body is increasing its potential, and the pituitary gland is now opening, because it is like an eye or a bud, and as it opens, it sees higher than visible light. We come into the time of our true gifts as human beings, and it's not just a return to the time of Atlantis, it's a furthering of the evolution of humanity. And we go through these cycles, and the idea is, as we go through this next cycle of fifth dimensional reality, we don't have to sink back down, because we will have the compassion we need for each other. So that's sort of my hope.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Ditto. That's just absolutely stunning.
Does that make sense, Neil, Joan?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was getting from what you're saying, it's not Atlantis rising, it's beyond Atlantis, right?
Yeah.
It's not us going
Well,
back there.
yeah.
It's also
Yes.
because
And
we're picking up. We're
Tamara,
picking
I
up this
think we
high
have two
frequency.
that's in the waiting room. Go ahead.
We do. And I want to just piggyback on and say the time is now. It really is
Yeah.
now. And for you to step into your power fearlessly and go for it. So sign up and register. And what we're going to do is we've got 3 surprise guests here. There could be more, but right now, wait a minute.
Okay.
Well, let's see what we've got here. So first we have Vera. I'm going to let Neil Gaur, the director of Portal to Ascension, introduce each guest, and then the guest can tell a little bit about an overview of maybe what they'll talk about. So let me bring the first one. It will be Vera. Vera, if you could unmute yourself and go ahead and join us, that would be awesome. Okay. Well, let's see.
I don't think Vera is.
Is she not there?
Speaker.
No,
Okay.
That's one of
She's
Science
not. All right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and
We haven't met her
bring
yet.
my angel brother that we haven't met yet. Not this live.
Yeah, I'll
Saran on.
introduce Sarian, and then you can introduce Radha, Joan.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
everybody.
take it,
So,
Neil.
I don't have the official bio of Sarian, even though I should probably know it by now because I've said it so many times.
Yeah, you have.
But all I know is that he's such a multidimensional. Over the word multifaceted. It's a multidimensional individual where his scope of research has gone in from UFOs, from mainstream what's going on, to the reality that he actually channels and connects to multiple interdimensional beings. My favorite being the Arcturians. It's the favorite events that we do, so much so that I specifically requested an Arcturian event from him recently. And we just did one called Remembering Egypt. And I feel like the Atlantis one is a continuation or maybe connected to the one that he just
Absolutely.
did because it's so connected to Atlantis. And through his connection to the divine, to these beings, he's also been able to become an ancient history researcher, going to these ancient mystery schools from the actual experience of it and bringing forward information. So I just love Sarian a lot because he's done just so much and he's on so many of our events, contributes a lot of great information. So brother, it's going to be great to have you there, and I can't wait to see what you're going to share.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited as well. I have not talked before about the details of the destruction of Atlantis, and that's something that I have very clear memory of. I was shown this in the Akashic records. I saw it from lots of different angles, forwards, backwards, from an angel's eye view, and I feel called to speak about it a little bit because I've watched a narrative that started to develop from some of these more well-known researchers that started to sort of coalesce around a type of narrative of what happened and what destroyed the civilization, and it's veered a little bit away from what I remember from the Akashic records, and so I want to share some details about that. But on the subject of Atlantean superpowers, interesting topic. What that makes me think of when I think of the Atlanteans and my own Atlantean incarnations is the longer lifespans that we had in those times. We lived for hundreds of years. I think going way back into the earlier stages of Atlantis, people were living to up to 1,000 years, and gradually that started to shorten over time. And it was partly the destruction of Atlantis and what brought that destruction about and the effect it had on the consciousness of humanity that put the lens or the sleep of time firmly in place. Like the concept of linear time is very connected to the destruction of Atlantis because time is how we were able to forget. We started putting time in place as a way of creating distance between us and the enormous pain of that destruction, because that was where we experienced severing part of our connection to source. So I have been shown that there's a real potential that exists now in the century through our current awakening that longer lifespans could start to become a thing again, that they could start to extend beyond what has been normal. And eventually we could see people living for 200, 300 years and being healthy and having a whole different level of being able to evolve and contribute to society from having a longer lifespan. So I'd like to explore a little bit the psychology of that and maybe through the exploration, we can turn some of our own thinking around and start to align with more of that potential.
That's great, Sarian. I'm sorry we never got a chance to do an interview because I'm really interested in all the things you're saying. So let's arrange it now that I have some time. And
Yeah.
but it's
And
important.
this
what you're
idea of
saying.
having longer lifespans is important, because in a short lifespan of 50, 60, 70 years, when you spend all your time in survival, you don't have time to remember who you are. And it's not
Yeah.
until you've lived a certain amount that you. So I tell everyone I'm going to be around for at least 333 years. And I do believe we can activate our templates, because I don't know about you, but I'm just getting smarter. I'm learning more now
Right.
than I ever did. So kind of very
Absolutely.
interesting.
And I think to add on to that, not only getting older, but staying healthy and more vibrant looking.
Yes.
Yeah. And these tools from Atlantis, by the way, they had temples of beauty and temples of love and temples of healing that were extraordinary. And beauty was definitely part of their culture.
Yes, yes. And that I think that that's going to come up in the with probably with many speakers, the beauty and the beauty of the Hathars. It will come up because that is something that is not just about aesthetics, but a way of life. So
Yeah.
I want to go to each person, and we'll start with Neil. And I want your personal intention for people that are going to be signing up. And let me put this in real quick in front so people can see it. It is for the Unleash the Secrets of Atlantis 2-day online conference coming up this weekend. So it's only $55. I'm doing all your work, Neil. How do you like that? He popped off. Okay, add him to the screen. I don't know what happened. Okay, cool. So I'll start with you, Joan. So go ahead and tell everyone what your intention for people that are signing up, what you would like for them to receive. As some type of transmission or activation?
Well, I think a little bit of both. What I'm prepared to share and what I feel you're going to receive, not just from me, by the way, but from everyone else, is a complete shift of a vibrational shift that will activate your DNA and actually stir not just your memories, but it'll shift your DNA templates into a higher frequency, because we're going to be walking in a higher frequency realm over the weekend. In fact, from the very beginning of the conference, from when we do the invocations, we are creating a portal. Neil and I do that, portal to Ascension. We create a portal that you'll walk into this other realm. So I'm going to share some art, some of the goddesses that I knew, some of the energies in the temples. And as I do that, I'll share some of my stories of awakening that to those memories, but also the most profound sense of what it's like to live in a higher dimensional frequency environment. Like, what does it do to your soul? How does your soul sing? And when you're walking around in fabrics that are not of earth, that are of these frequencies, what does it feel like? So we're going to really dive deep so that by the time the weekend is over, you go, oh my God, where is Atlantis? I'm going. You're going to hop the closest plane, dive yourself into it, because that's your soul. And we are your soul family if you're feeling called to be there with us.
Right. I agree. I'm ready to take that shift and be Atlantean-like right now. Fearlessly. We need that. So Neil, tell us your personal intention for people that are signing up for this amazing conference this weekend.
Yeah. So first, can you hear me? Because there's a little delay going on.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So, well, the intention for this was to not only, pay reverence and do something that has never probably been done before with Atlantis, which spends so much time and energy specifically on it, but was also to create a full circle awareness kind of event in regards to it, from archaeological evidence to the cycles of time, right? Which is a huge part of my presentation is going to be that. And then also connecting it to many ancient civilizations, because I saw that so much of the Atlantean information comes from Plato, right? So part of my presentation was a deep dive into other ancient cultures to see if we can piece together information to see if they spoke about Atlantis. And just to kind of give you a little spoiler alert on one thing on my presentation is so many archaeologists and conventional Egyptologists and even alternative Egyptologists say that there's no evidence in Egypt about them coming from Atlantis or a connection to Atlantis. And I found some texts talking about how Egypt was created, and they said they emerged out of a great flood that occurred off the coast of Africa, right?
Yeah.
But that's the only piece of information there. And so we're going to go into some things like that when it comes to myself. But the whole intention for everything is to provide so many different aspects of information for it to ultimately do what this panel is designed for, talking about, which is bringing forth that innate gifts and abilities. As we start shifting into this higher consciousness, into this new reality, that there's all these types of tools and abilities that we have, straight up superpowers, right? From telepathy being one of them, which was a tool that was used back in those times. And then also being able to manifest things with our own consciousness and being able to have deeper insights and communications with the gods, things like that. So we're at the beginning phases of this new cycle, this new age. And at the beginning of this, we need to have these remembrances, and these events are basically sparking that level of consciousness within us so that we can then embody these tools. So this is one of those events for that.
Yeah. So but sign up. I mean, it's going to be spectacular, and you have unlimited replays, right? So they can, if you can't be there this weekend, you have plans, you can always watch it later again and again if you want to. So I don't know if Alan is still with us. Alan, did you want to chime in what your personal intention, what people are going to find this weekend? If he doesn't chime in a minute, I can go and talk about what I'm going to be covering. So he's not there. So let me jump in, and when he comes back, we'll go with him, and then
did Rhonda jump in? Because I thought Rhonda was here
too. Oh
too.
yeah, where's Rhonda?
I thought she was here too, but I don't see her. I see Vera and Sarian, but I don't see her. I don't know where she is. Maybe you can get her on the horn. I would love to. She has I loved hearing what she had to say. So as far as what my intention is for people to walk away with being proud and fearless about their abilities. And I come across so many light workers and starseeds that they'll take their abilities a certain level, but then they don't want to take it further. And I'm saying take it further. That's what we need. We are the Calvary. We are here for a purpose. And yeah, it's great to have fun and love each other and all of that. That's a big part of it. But we do have a role here, and we have a spiritual responsibility to ourselves. And my goal and my hopes are that from my point of view, from my talk, that they will be able to earn their superpowers. I'll be speaking about being a shape-shifting high priestess that lived in the water and that lived on land, and that I was also an interdimensional being, as well as a star seed. I'll go into that more, and about how the beauty, how it was structured, about how it was harmonious, how even with the symbols, what some of the symbols meant, some of the technologies we use, some of the other solar systems that would come visit and be there and that would assist from time to time. And sometimes they would just enjoy things. They would just hang out in the amphitheater. We had a big amphitheater like you'd imagine now. Why not, right? But we did. And so we're going to talk about the animals, the harmony with the animals, and how I could pet an animal and start becoming them. And I could go to different levels, which is funny. I kind of have that ability now. I can put faces on top of mine with transfiguration, like if somebody's grandmother and I hug you, their face will be my, I'm kind of doing it still. But these are the powers, the abilities that everyone have different ones. And by choice, us even now, we choose, some of us, to carry on with a certain aspect of it, like a healing aspect or a musical aspect with healing, or whatever it may be. And so to really be able to know what those are with you that you honor. And this recalling the time of Atlantis is a good thing, because we were there, and we can't just brush almost 400,000 years or more under the rug. I mean, this place existed, and it was in multiple continents. And also with my talk, I'm going to be talking about how it integrates with Lemurian Egypt, because we have a history and we're still trying to do the same thing. So it's not really a distant ancient past, because hello, we're still here. We're here trying to accomplish that. So if we can embody the beauty and the superpowers of our Atlantean times and be that now, because we are multidimensional, be that right now, can you imagine what a better world it would be? I mean, because it's all about bringing together love and unity, because I don't know about you all, but this duality sucks. And I say no to it. And I say yes to love. And so that's where we're going. So say yes and sign up. So let's see who's next on the agenda. If you want to speak, sorry.
Did Rhonda come back in? She said she popped in and out and in again.
Oh, there she is. Okay, can you hold? Let's see. Let me see if I can get her in. If we'll get her in,
Yeah, you want to go ahead and introduce
more.
her, Joan?
Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
I do. So,
Rhonda, aren't you beautiful? I thought your cartoon picture was pretty, but look at you. You're gorgeous.
it is wonderful to see you, Rhonda. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 Beautiful. Well, first of all, you look wonderful, Rhonda. Your picture is good, but you are actually even brighter. And it was Rhonda. I want to introduce Rhonda as the publisher of Rhonda House Publishing. She's also up and intuitive, Akashic records, everything about helping you recall your past lives. I had the privilege really of being on a show with you, with Rhonda, and she actually activated on the show my memories of Atlantis and Egypt while we were talking. And I was busy saying, oh, I'm not that much into the goddess, you know. And suddenly I even put a chapter in her book. So, Rhonda, why don't you tell us about what you are going to be sharing at Atlantis? I know I was there with you for sure, and want to hear that.
I have a funny feeling we were all there together. It's just another reunion here. I really want to touch on the aspect of forgiveness and really reclaiming back parts of ourselves that maybe we left behind, the fragments, so that we can really come back into our wholeness and celebrate again. And there's so much for us to explore in this conference. And one thing I'm extremely excited about is everybody is carrying a piece of a code of Atlantis, right? So I feel that each one of you and the whole panel, we're all carrying the codes, and they're different aspects of it. So it's very cool because we're going to be able to share those codexes through this. And that will be a really big activation for all of us and everyone watching. But the healing aspect to me is something that means a lot because, as I said before, we've all been wounded by this, you know, but there's so much joy to reclaim. And I think that as we work through that, we can come to a nice fruition of completion. And the healing aspect and the forgiveness is very important. So we don't continue these cycles, and we come in with more consciousness and awareness. And is it okay if I read a poem? Because I wrote a poem about it, but it's...
Yeah, I would love it. That's fine with me. Yes. Beautiful.
Okay. Okay. So it's called Atlantis Rising, Awakening the Atlantean in You. Unlock the gates, ancient memories of old. Atlantis beckons, its secrets unfold. A priest or priestess within you, yearning to heal, embrace their essence, let their wisdom reveal. In the sacred chambers, healing light ignites, awakening the priest or priestess within through whispers of ages, voices softly calls, guiding you to remember as the ancient wall falls. When the children of Atlantis awaken from slumber, their memories reborn and past they remember. From the depths of their souls, the truth does reside, recalling their heritage, their spirits unified. Remembering Atlantis, what does it hold? The key to the present, a tale yet untold. Through memories awakened, a purpose is found to heal and to rise with power profound. Atlantis rising, a phoenix from the sea, revealing its magic for all to see, reactivating gifts dormant for long, unleashing their presence, a symphony of song. The strands of DNA entwined in grace, unraveling the codes, unlocking the space, reawakening potentials. that once lay dormant, igniting the fire in hearts vibrant. Through lessons learned, mistakes of the past, children of Atlantis stand steadfast. With wisdoms as their guide, they forge a new way, creating a future where love holds sway. I mean, it's longer, but I don't want to go on.
Oh my gosh. That is
Whoa.
beautiful. Yay. Oh my gosh. Just
Beautiful.
touched my heart. Oh wow. That is I feel like that we need to have music and graphics behind it. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh wow. Okay, so I got to snap out of that beauty for a moment and go into another kind of beauty and ask. I don't know if Alan's back, but if not, we could go to Sarion and put your personal intention for the conference this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's Alan. He said, go ahead. He said, go
I'll
ahead.
go after Sarion. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my intention is remembrance most of all. I really resonate with this aspect of Portal to Ascension's mission and purpose. That's something that's always been very close to my heart, helping people to remember and retrieving the memories myself so that I can remember. It's been a big part of my my purpose and arc of transformation. But I feel that reviewing some of these lessons from Atlantis and from the destruction of Atlantis, the downfall of that civilization, it helps us to understand our potential now and to see the different timelines that are before us in a way that is connected to the wisdom that we can now retrieve from these memories that are coming up from the Akashic records. And I want to inspire people about the field of light that is coming in now that is offering us the opportunity to take the Atlantean human experiment further than what the Atlanteans were able to do. So we're here in many ways to pick up where they left off at a certain point before they started to spiral downward. And that's something to be inspired about.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I agree with that. There's like, time and space that flows in waves. So there was a wave there that reached a peak and then it went down. Now we're in this wave, which is really an ascension wave. I mean, it was back then, but we weren't developed enough, like I said before, and evolved enough to really know how to surf that wave. And I think because of the traumas and the intensity and the collective awareness that we have now, I think it's possible that we can take that wave collectively into an ascension mode where we actually get off the wheel of old human incarnations where we repeat the same patterns lifetime after lifetime and the same dramas. There's once you get the drama, you don't have to repeat it. Once you really feel jealousy or hate or anger, and once you own that, which means you allow yourself to feel the depth of that feeling, you own it, and you never have to have that again, because we're here to have all the human experiences, and we're reaching the end of that timeline where it's either you get it or you have to go back down around. But there's this wave or this other timeline I call it a golden timeline that's being threaded through time and space of the ancient initiates that knew at the time of Atlantis their destiny, and they've forgotten. And now that those initiates are waking again to get back on the path and catching that wave into the ascended consciousness. So it's very exciting to review this, to go forward, and to venture into the unknown, because humanity's at the threshold of the unknown. We're not going back to the known. We're going into an infinite possibility of a new creation.
Yeah.
Well, I remember you from Atlantis, and I'll let everyone know. I remember you taking the scrolls.
For all you too.
I remember you taking the scrolls across the globe. So this should actually be really amazing.
Right.
Yes, the fact that we're here supporting one another and everybody else watching to Atlanteans rise. This is the
there was a lot
time.
of
Now
time.
is your time.
You are the
time is
people.
now. Join
You
us.
are it. Yep.
Oh yeah, you might as well show up, guys. Your heart must be singing by now with recognition of
Yeah.
that soul call. So I feel like we're putting out a soul call across the globe
Yeah,
for our
absolutely.
family
Right.
to come and join us.
I
Yeah.
honestly feel that this is that every person that attends here is basically activating their own memories by attending this event. But not just that, they were a part of something. It's like the council is being called together. Random people from around the world are attending this event, but it's completely synchronized and synergized from the moment the decision was made to create this event to the people that clicked on the links to go to the webpage, for the people who thought about it, to the people that actually sign up. Everybody who's coming there is coming for a reason.
Right.
And there's waves. There's also waves of activation, right? There are those that wake up at certain points in order to usher in the awareness for the rest of them, and this event is one of those.
And
Yes, and
needless to say, the community too in the chat is always really lively of who comes in, and we just want you to know you've already been to Atlantis, but we are just going to show you some clips of it, just like watching an old, looking through
It's
an
a
old,
highlight reel.
Highlight.
right, a highlight reel, a best of the best.
Right.
But so many of us have trauma from those lifetimes that
Yeah.
it's taken us a long time to fluff our wings and to connect to source again. And this is going to heal that trauma. You're going to feel like you can come out safely as the star being or the celestial being that you are, as we heal all that.
So look at it as a Atlantean support group.
Yeah.
Because
Atlantean support group, but also it could be an Atlantean healing spa day. Think about it. You're going to be coming into an Atlantean resort and experience some real healing of your soul, of your wings, of your memories. And I don't know, that's what Rhonda did for me one day. And I think it's great to do it for everyone.
Well, I love how we're supporting one another, and we're supporting you, and you're going to support us. And that's what family is truly about, cosmic family. It goes beyond time and space. So you've seen below this scanning banner down here. However, you can also look at the description below. I'm going to put one last time the image for Unleash the Secrets of Atlantis. Please sign up. All the information is below in the description. And Neil, last words. I want to thank everyone first. I want to thank Joan, Alan, Raka, and Sarian. Everybody's been fantastic. Neil, I'm going to leave you the last words, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. I'm just really, I feel very grateful to be able to create something like this and to really usher in and just ultimately, to be honest, like my true happiness is the fact that we get to choose these topics and go so deep into it, dissect it from so many different aspects and avenues that it's like a party in celebration of what occurred, and obviously within that party, it's not just a regular conventional party where it's all a bunch of happiness, because there were some times that were rough in Atlantis, but the ultimate party really is when we do the inner work and then we transcend from those traumas, and then we can ultimately be at the vibration where we can have an empowered life of harmony and really live in unity on Earth. And so we need to go not only know about the fact that we have been at points where we've been great advanced civilizations and we have that ability within us, but we also need to go into the darkness, into the shadow world, and bring that stuff to the surface so that we can inherit this world. We can't be avoiding all these deep traumas that not just from your life right now, from your upbringing and stuff, but from our incarnations over and over and over. I feel like Earth, I think I shared this last time. I feel like Earth is a galactic trauma processing center.
So perfect.
Gosh. Again, we need some cosmic Atlantean support. Here it is.
I had some regressions lately, and I've had memories come back to me in the last year, and I saw we're processing energy for not even just our own souls, for multiple incarnations and beings. We didn't just choose here to come here to forget and remember, but we chose to be almost like organic machines to process this energy so that the universe can shift, right? And so this event is a really powerful one when it comes to all of that. So yeah, definitely hope to see some of you guys there. And again, portaltoascension.org, online events, and you can sign up there.
Perfect. Yes. And see the channel, Portal to Ascension as well. And they do mention events on there. Thank everyone so much. I'm really excited to be a part of all of this, to be with such powerful, loving people. Namaste. Much love, everyone. Sign up and register.
Namaste.
See you later. Bye. Please subscribe, like, and make comments, and support this channel by becoming a member. Thank you for your continued support.